Greetings Autobots and welcome back. First off, you're probably thinking, where the hell have you been, Autobot? It's been weeks since the last upload, and the reason for that is because my coaxial cable for the Wi-Fi was chewed, so I had to get a replacement one, and between that and the summer heat, it's been pretty hard to really sit down and record a video. But I'm going to go on a big blitz and just record a whole slew of videos for you guys, and they're going to be featuring these Armada figures. So first off, we're going to hit the ground running with a figure that, in a weird way, I actually had since I was a kid. The Transformers Armada, Red Alert, with his partner Minicon, Longarm. It's a really hot night tonight. The summer heat is in full swing, so I have my trusty water on standby. That's the spot. So let's get stuck in with the Minicon Longarm. Now, Longarm is a sort of crane vehicle. I'm not exactly sure what the technical term for this vehicle is, but like other Minicons, Longarm is partnered with the main Transformer, the one that you get in the box. These Minicons are extra ones that unlock play features and gimmicks, as well as function as their own little Transformer. Transformation is incredibly simple. What you're just going to want to do is, I just like to move this out of the way, and actually before we transform them, you can extend the crane out the way and you can rotate it fully around. So you have a very expressive range of motion on the crane. It can go up the way, it can bend at this hinge, it can go all the way up, you can rotate it full 360. It's actually quite expressive for such a small toy. Now, this transformation, like all Minicons, is incredibly simple. You're just going to want to take the front section here and just swing them around, and these become the legs. They'll just fit into these grooves here. Collapse this down like so. Flip out the arms, and there you go. There you have Longarm in his robot mode. Like all other Minicons, incredibly simple transformation and incredibly simple detailing. Some nice painted blue plastic, or painted red on the blue. You've even got a decent little face sculpt with the Minicon insignia tampographed on the chest. Got the little Minicon port in his stomach. Actually surprisingly well detailed for such a tiny figure. Not much paint on the rest of the figure, just basic coloration on the head, but I think it looks good. Very faithful to the show model. Very detailed for such a tiny little Minicon. Now, let's put Longarm back into his vehicle mode and then look at his big brother, so to speak, Red Alert. We'll pop you over here. We'll need you soon when the time comes. Now, Red Alert is one of the original Autobot trio from Transformers Armada, taking the form of an ambulance rescue vehicle. Just a standard vehicle with some really nice detailing all around. I love especially the sort of hydraulics that you see under here. The fenders being detailed. A really nice touch. You've got this little lick of red to give them more definition. Of course, you've got the red cross symbol. A really nice sort of light bar cast in translucent red plastic. It gives the figure a very interesting look to it, very vibrant colour palette. And speaking of the figure, it is very chunky. It is remarkably hefty, even just listening to the sounds of it. It sounds like something that you would just have fun playing with. It's remarkably chunky, especially for a figure that's quite old. Now, before we get into the transformation, like a lot of his contemporaries or his Armada friends, Red Alert is packed to the gills with Minicon features, and we'll save the iconic one for last. You folks that know this figure, you'll know what I'm talking about. So first, using these Minicon ports, you can see there's quite a few. These two are the ones that trigger gimmicks. We're gonna put Longarm right on the bonnet of Red Alert. We just plug him in, and it causes the front bumper to open, revealing a launcher gimmick. So if you take the Minicon and pull it as if you're pulling the trigger, he fires off a little life preserver cast in black plastic, painted orange with a really nice detailed Autobot insignia. It's a cool little feature, and especially it's relevant to the character given that he's a search and rescue vehicle. It makes sense for him to fire something like a life preserver rather than a laser disc. But there's two other gimmicks, and we'll do the iconic one for last. But you're going to want to plug the Minicon. I mean, any Minicon will do, but this is his partner Minicon, so we're going with Longarm in particular. So plug him in here, and then now the spring on mine is a little bit worn down, so I'll have to give it a bit more. I'll have to kind of force out the gimmick, but push back, and it will trigger a sound effect. And normally what it's supposed to do is cause this to spring out, and it flips forward a hidden cannon. Now the cannon itself actually, did not mean to do that. Never flip that back out. But the cannon itself has a little spring-loaded missile, though unfortunately I do not have the missile as the figure did not come with it, the one I bought it from. But it would fire a little claw missile from here with some nice detail as well, some moulded. You've even got a sight moulded on there. It's a really cool detail. The main barrel of it, you've got the sight moulded in. It's pretty cool. But Red Alert has one of the funniest, most bizarre cases of lights and sounds I have ever heard. Now, answer me this, folks. When you think of an ambulance, what do you think of? You think of something like the roar of the engine, and as it zooms by, the noise of the siren going off. What you don't think is this. Take the Minicon of your choice and push forward, and you'll get
Red Alert!
Oh, it's so daft. I love it. He says his name, and it's not even a siren, it's just a guy going awoo awoo. Let's hear it one more time just for the kicks.
Red Alert!
So stupid. It's dumb, it's silly, but you know what? We're all for it on this show, and honestly, this figure's really cool. He's packed to the gills with play features, so a funny lights and sound gimmick, ironically enough, is one of his most defining traits. The toy. Everyone talks about that when they talk about this figure. It's pretty much impossible to not bring up. So, transformation wise, we've already done Longarm, so we'll cast him off to the side. We'll put him in the little Minicon parking bay. So Red Alert's transformation is surprisingly simple, but in my opinion, pretty fun. What you're going to want to do first is come to the doors and just open them up and rotate them like so. Open up, rotate. Now what we're going to want to do now is come around to the back. These will be his legs. Split them from the side, just free them up, and bring this whole waist section down. Now what will happen is this will come into this, or this will click into place right here. And that allows this whole back section here to come down. And this, you can see there's a little tab that goes into this slot, and that just sort of tabs in place, keeping everything nice and secure. Now the legs, you're going to want to rotate around at the knee, flip down the foot, and ow, damn it, flip out the heel. Ow, shit. That actually hurt. I think I nearly chipped the nail from that. Come on, Red Alert, why are you doing this to me? I'm trying to help you. So just do the same thing on the side. Hopefully not hurt my nail this time. There we go. Flip down the arm. Now, you can have these angled whatever way you want. This is more show accurate. He has them like this, but they kind of interfere with the back part. But if you splay them open, it's really not that big of a deal. So, final steps. You're just going to want to take the arms and just straighten them out on their double hinge. The same goes for the other side. Flip that down. And for the final step, you're just going to want to take the head and angle it forward until it sort of soft rests into place. And there you have it. There you have Transformers Armada, Red Alert in his robot mode. Charmingly simple, very faithful to the show model, But it's strange because I would normally be a bit iffy about the kibble, but it's accurate to the show model, and with the kibble actually comes some cool gimmicks, namely the gun gimmick, which I will show more of. But Red Alert, just because he's in robot mode doesn't mean the play features stop here, folks, because if you take this panel here and flip it open, or just flip it around, it's a bit finicky because of the back piece, but you can kind of finagle it around. You can actually flip up this transparent red panel and have a mini-con repair or command center. So you can take a mini-con of your choice and have him sitting here running diagnostics, or just playing some Doom on the computer. I know I would. Come on, Longarm. Don't be a bludgeon now. There we go. He just plugs into the little mini-con socket, and you can have him clicking away on the computer. He's sitting there playing Doom. What does Red Alert sound like in the show again? He's like, "Sir, we've located another mini-con. He's playing Doom on the local computer." Oh man, I've missed this. You guys, I wish you could be here with me right now because I have the biggest smile on my face just doing this again. You know, even when I feel horrible or I just feel like I'm having a bad day, I will always have a smile when making this show. I just, love it. Love it. So, more gimmicks abound, because if you take the other panel and do the same thing, you open it up, it's a weapon suppository. Now, I have one weapon here, but the other one I didn't come with, but I think it's an assault rifle attachment. But if you just take that out, you get a little medical probe of sorts. Now, this is interesting. This is actually faithful to the show, because Red Alert actually lost his hand in a battle, which is the reason why he doesn't have another hand. But you can use this and just plug in the little probe, and then you can have it just like the show. Now, you may be thinking, can anything be done about that gun from the vehicle mode? And yes, it can, because if you take Longarm, or any mini-gun of your choice, plug it in, trigger the gun gimmick. Now, it actually seems to be a bit more springy, I guess, whenever he's facing like this, and the gun will just flip around. But you can take the gun itself and unplug it. It's actually it's a little bit stuck, but you just unplug it from this little 5mm port, and you can plug it into his hand. Now, he actually does this in the show when he power links with Longarm. And there you have a pretty cool looking robot. It's so charmingly simple, and that's part of why I love Armada. The toys themselves are simple, but they're designed with the fun first mentality, and that's something I'll always praise them on. Even the figures that some people just don't like Armada Sideswipe, despite that figure being objectively pretty bad, I think there's personally some fun to be had with that little guy. Expect a video on him soon. But we haven't talked about Sideswipe. Red Alert. We haven't talked about Red Alert's posability. So let's just remove his little accoutrement and plug that back in. Just, let's see. Kind of tricky just to angle it because the way the assembly is, but to see if I can just plug it in. It's remarkably finicky from this angle. Come on. There we go. It's like catchy. I'll have to edit that out in post. Let's make a note of that. 14 minutes. Future Orbot, if you're watching. Come on, for goodness sakes. Plug in. There you go, for goodness sake. Holy heavens, finally. So just plug that back in, and we'll still have Longarm. We'll showcase the disc launching gimmick in his robot mode, just for the fun of it. But first we'll talk posability. Now, Red Alert has a full degree of rotation at the shoulder due to the transformation joint. Arms can move out that far. They're on a double hinge, so they can move in and up that far. Pretty dynamic range. Same goes for the other side. For rotation on soft ratchets, kind of gets impeded by these little wheels, but you can just easily circumvent that. Full degree of rotation, band, nothing at the wrists. Head is remarkably expressive. It's got a little bend backwards, you can look down that far and up that far. You have a full degree of rotation at the head. Now legs are a little bit tricky because they're on ball joints at the top. They can only move out this far before they just stop because of the way they're engineered. But the rest of the legs are actually pretty posable. You've got just about or under 90 knees, nothing at the toe, but a full degree of rotation, a full swivel, though it just stops here for some reason because of these little pieces. So you can actually pull some pretty decent dynamic poses of him, especially considering how expressive his toes are. A sentence I never thought I'd say and will hopefully never have to say again. Let's get him into a kind of action pose with his mini-com partner in tow. Longarm. Power length. If my fingers would actually cooperate. There we go. So we can have him fully armored up. But in case you wanted more firepower, because with mini-cons you can never have enough guns. Sometimes you just need a big old shoulder-mounted BFJ. So, Red Alert is actually one of my personal favourite figures because, like I mentioned before, I got a repaint of him as a child, the movie Inferno from the 2007 toy line, which was one of my favourites. I just wish I never got rid of that figure because he was so cool, just incredibly fun to play with. And his gimmicks, all the gimmicks and stuff carried over with him because he was just an Armada figure repainted. But for what this guy's worth, he's a pretty solid robot. He's chunky, he's packed to the gills with gimmicks, he's got decent posability, and he's just a fun character. He's a fun figure just to mess around with. And honestly, I couldn't be happier to have him in my collection. So let's just get him all positioned for the reverse transformation and the closure of the video. Let's see. So we're just gonna tuck away his little, I don't know, laser lollipop and just stick that in that little connector port. It's a little bit tricky just from the angle I'm sitting at. You kind of have to position it so that it fits with the little grooves. Come on, it's just a little bit tricky. There we go. Or I think that's about it. No, that's not it at all. It is stuck. Hold on a second. I'm not gonna have you sit through me fiddling with a plastic rocket missile thingy for like 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, with the magic of editing and me losing my patience, I finally managed to get the little gun secured. So, Red Alert's reverse transformation, again, like the main transformation, is very simple and fun. So first what you're going to want to do is just come to the arms, collapse them in like so, just collapse them, make use of the hinges, and keep them like so. Angle this little bit back. You're just going to be gentle because this whole hinge is clear plastic, so be careful. Flip the head back. Now this can be a little bit, or it's kind of tricky, but it's not that tricky once you get the order of operations started. You're going to want to disconnect that from the tab and bring that up, and at the same time disconnect the waist. This will allow this piece to just sort of slip into place with the clear tabs. So just make sure I've got that secured in. There we go. And we'll just bring the legs, sort of, we'll leave them here for the time being and just work on the legs. So rotate the feet around, collapse the heel in, and then rotate at the knee, So it's facing like so. Tab the legs together. Might be better if I just show it like that. And then you're going to want to, you'll see there's a little tab here that fits into a slot here on this side of the leg. And for this one, it's a little groove right in here that a tab will fit into. Just angle the legs. There's a little tab there that blocks this piece from sort of sitting flush, so you kind of have to angle it to get the effect of it. But to finalize the transformation, rotate the doors and close them up. Rotate and close up. And there you have Transformers Armada, Red Alert, and his partner Minicon, Longarm, back in vehicle modes. Thank you for watching this Transformers Armada ASMR video. Again, I know I keep saying this and it's probably lost all meaning, but my upload schedule is pretty much non-existent, and thank you guys for putting up with my absolutely god-awful schedule. Not many people I know would put up with that, but it's good to have yous here, and I hope I can keep making Transformers content for as long as I can. You know, till the day I'm old and grey. Take a big old swig of water just for victory. Analyzed. So, I believe that about wraps it up. Let me know what you thought about the video and the figure in the comments below. Leave a suggestion or any ideas for future videos, whether it be gaming, books, Transformers related. I read all the comments and I'd be happy to hear your input and excited to hear what you would like to see on the channel. With all that being said, this is Autobot ASMR, signing off for the night. Autobots, transform and roll out! Yeah, that's kind of Gary Chalk. I don't know, I can't really do Gary Chalk actually. He's more like, give it up, Megatron! Much rather than Peter Collins. He'd be like, give it up, Megatron. It is over. Gary Chalk's a bit more of a youthful Optimus Prime. I'm rattling on for too long. It's a longer one.